You can't mess up with this productivity hack. Now, I remember that back in September of 2023, when I was going all out on my self mastery journey and I was becoming the best possible version of myself that I can become in this life, when I was literally putting everything, every ounce of my discipline and my willpower and my productivity into it, I was creating my morning, my midday, and my nightly routine. And I had all these different blocks of productive things that I could be doing at exactly these times, and I just had no idea where to actually put them. And I used to be quite an overthinker even back then, and for most of my life that was really the case. I mean, the reason why I got such poor results, one of those reasons was actually because I was such an overthinker. I would basically overthink the most simple shit possible, but then I would always get a bad grade because, yeah, I would always think that it had a deeper meaning, when in fact, the question that the teachers asked me was always just plain and simple. And if I had just simplified it, it would completely work for me. And this was happening even when I was creating that productive morning routine for myself to build up my discipline. Of course, I had all of these different options. I had gratitude journaling, I had cold showers, I had hugging the tree in my backyard, I had exercising, I had regular journaling, I had meditation, I had reading books, I had all of these different things that I could apply to it. But still, I was just overthinking them. I was like, but wouldn't that take way too much time? And uh, what if I don't manage to complete them in time? What if? And what exactly would I be doing? Like I don't know, cold showers? But for how long? And where should I do them? And at what exact time? And what? I used to be such an overthinker back then. But then I used this tactic called simplicity, and I simplified everything. And this is exactly what you need. I took each and every single one of those habits and I applied them to the exact times of my day where I put them and when I still do them, even until this day. So like for example, I wake up, I undress myself and I put on my regular clothes that I just wear for the rest of the day. Then I go outside and I hug that tree in my backyard. I just always like pat it on the back for like 5 times. Then I come back, I do some exercising. Of course, it isn't just easy as saying exercising. What I actually do are just some push ups. There's always like 40 of them. Then I do a 45 seconds plank. Then I also do some curl ups. And then I train my neck. I do the yes and no exercise. And then I also put two books on my forehead, and I always do the the neck curl up exercise. And so yeah, then I also stretch my calves and my thighs so that I become more flexible over time. And yeah, then I go and meditate. I write a community post for this clan. Then I do some gratitude journaling. I then do some meditation. Then I record these videos. Then I also hop on some community calls that I have with my friends, and then I go and spend the rest of my day. I I become more active with my friends. I learn some Italian, I do some boxing. I learn Italian from this one specific book that has a lot of Italian stories in there. So that's something specific that I specified, but I didn't really, you know, made it way too complicated for myself. And boxing, I always just watch like 10 minutes from a boxing video and I take action right afterwards. If I can't take physical action, then yeah, sure, I take mental action. But I make sure to drill it into my subconscious mind as much as possible so that I remember it to the best of my capabilities. Now, what am I trying to say by this? Simplicity is the highest form of sophistication, meaning that when it comes to any kind of skill, or when you want to remember any kind of thing, you have to remember that before you can truly utilize it to your fullest potential, you must not just make your inner adult understand it, but your inner child as well. And that's something very deep, isn't it? You've been going to school for years now, and they've been telling you that, oh, but now you're like 15 years old, you're in middle school now, you should be getting used to these vague ass terms that are way too complicated, but you're still so advanced, you need to remember them. But guess what? The top students simplify everything, and that's something that they don't teach you. I used to be one of those top students, and I still am. It's just that I don't try as much, as hard anymore. But still, when I used to try hard the education system, and I remember this even in my earliest days of school, I used to oversimplify everything, and it fucking worked. Because, yeah, sure, when your inner adult understands it, those overcomplicated terms, those systems, the mechanical thinking, I understand that some people may benefit more from that. But you need to remember that there's also this other side of you, your inner child, and it wants to understand it too. But it is getting overwhelmed with all of these negative terms that it doesn't understand. It cannot draw anything logical to it. You understand that creative side of you is slowly dying, and you aren't taking advantage of it. You aren't nourishing it whatsoever. And then you overthink, then you get into negative feedback loops, and it's just a huge shit show. Meaning that when it comes to simplifying any kind of skill, you must use less complicated terms, but not way too easily understood terms. And you must also simplify everything, but not oversimplify everything. And don't just take this from me. I have helped numerous amounts of people find their purpose in life, enhance their creative thinking, reconnect with their inner child, embrace their authenticity, and level up themselves in resiliency, discipline, willpower, productivity, and all of these good things in the past. And plus, none of those have even seen my timeless reader's mindsets. They are truly something mind blowing, and they'll completely change your life for the better forever. It is truly something life changing. And yeah, you just need to take advantage of this opportunity, especially with the discount that is happening over there right now. But moving on, yeah. So oversimplify everything, meaning that when you put this huge block in your morning routine when you exercise, of course, you need to specify what you're actually going to do. It's like studying, right? You just you don't just put into a routine studying like this huge ass block. You need to oversimplify and actually exactify what you want to learn. So like what notes do you want to study? What theory do you want to rehearse? And you make like a few subpoints. Oh, I want to learn how, I don't know, photosynthesis works in the animal body. I want to learn how the equation works. I want to learn how the how oxygen actually gets transferred all over our body so that the glucose gets shattered in our cells, and then our cells can communicate because they have energy and stuff like that. Those kinds of things. Okay? But yeah, don't go into way too much detail. So like learning how many how many oxygen molecules are in the glucose molecule or whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. You can go that far if you're gonna get a bachelor's degree in chemistry and biology and physics, but that's only because it is your top priority. And this is another point that I'm trying to make. Always adjust it to your own level. And the level that you will feel the most authentic with is the one that will give you the most amounts of emotional charge, the one that will resonate with you the most authentically. And you will exactly know what it is that I'm talking about. You will just have to practice and see it for yourself, because I cannot tell it for you. You're completely a authentic human being. Our brains are wired differently, and plus, the only way that anyone can actually remember something is if they practice something. Meaning that the theory that I'm giving you right now, you need to also practice it in your free time. It isn't just something that you can just waste your time around and not take any notes and not take anything from this video. This is something that you will go actively try in your day-to-day life. And then you will get that feeling, that inner intuition that will give you those clicks of realization that will get you onto the right path. Okay? So you just have to see for yourself on how much, into what details you can actually go before you start to overwhelm yourself. But it's way easier than it actually sounds, so don't get overwhelmed. Remember, simplicity. I'm not trying to overwhelm you with anything. This video, when you think about it, it's really just talking about like 4 different points. And we're getting into the last one right now. So use less complicated terms, but not way too easily understood terms. So once again, don't use terms like deoxyribonucleic molecule or whatever. Use DNA. Right? Pretty self-explanatory. Make sure that the level that your inner adult and your inner child is on can understand it perfectly, and everything will be just fine. So yeah, remember, simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. There's no need to overcomplicate anything, and this will give you a lot of discipline as fast as possible, because the second that I went into great details on what I actually want my daily routines to look like, they became 100 times easier than ever before. And so that's exactly what I want you to implement by Timeless Reader. Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you